guys, it's time for my Extreme Rules review. Almost said that wrong then. I'm so tired. Obviously, I stayed up and watched it last night, and I just feel absolutely shattered right now. My eyes like absolutely burning. I've still got Liam here, so he's playing Black Ops again. I don't know, he's playing Black Ops today, so there's more than one too. So, but it's good to know that you guys would rather watch me than what's happening on the screen. So yeah, he still won't be in the video. So it'll just be me talking again as usual. I really enjoyed Extreme Rules. It was a lot better than WrestleMania. Well, obviously, yeah, like WrestleMania wasn't too bad, but just like I said, it wasn't up to the standards that WrestleMania should have been. But this pay-per-view was really good. It had actually quite a lot of good matches. A few bits were a bit, you know, dire, but apart from that, like overall, I thought it was a really good show. The first match, which kind of surprised me, was Randy Orton versus CM Punk in the Last Man Standing match. I was expecting that one to go a bit further up the card. I thought they could have started with maybe like the tables match or something just to get it going, rather than that one. No, I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was quite good. There's some really nice spots in there. CM Punk like set up a chair, like wedged it in between like the ring ropes, and then Randy Orton like threw Punk into it, and he like went like head first, like through the ropes into the chair. That was quite nasty. That was a good spot. CM Punk was going to go for a side Russian leg sweep onto like a chair that was set up in the ring, but Randy countered it into an RKO, which was nice. And then the match, it was flowing, you know, like really well. Like obviously Orton kind of went psycho and was just like hitting Punk with like a kendo stick like loads and loads of times, and it was like, you know, going like really well. And then he kind of hit like a top rope RKO, which looked really good, and won the match with it. But it was I was kind of surprised that was the ending, because usually in like Last Man Standing matches they either have like kind of like a big spot or something that you don't normally see to kind of keep them down. But because Orton's done like a top rope RKO a lot of times, it kind of, to me, I felt that shouldn't have been the end. Don't get me wrong, it was a really nice move and it looked really good and everything, but I suppose normally in a Last Man Standing match you see like a big spot or something to keep them down. Obviously, like last year when they had like, I think it was Edge versus Cena, when Big Show took down and threw like the lightning and stuff, you know, that was like a big thing that, you know, wouldn't really happen, whereas RKO does. But no, that was a really good match overall. The second match, which wasn't like announced before the event actually started, was Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus in a tables match for the US title. I hope it's going really weird. But yeah, no, so it was a decent match. Obviously, it's quite nice to see a table match. I can't remember, I haven't seen a table match for a while, but then obviously I didn't watch really much wrestling last year. So the finish of the match, they had like a table set up on the outside. Sheamus, I can't exactly remember what, he just like had a move done to him or something, so he was like kind of standing on the outside, and then Kofi like dived off the top rope, and I think it was supposed to be like a diving like boom drop, or like it was like a leg drop, but it looked kind of like the boom drop on Sheamus through the table, which was like, whoa, that was like a really nice spot. So obviously Kofi is the new US champion, which I kind of said to Liam before the match started. I said that I think Kofi could win this one, obviously, because now we're obviously with Sheamus moving to SmackDown, it kind of left Raw without many titles really, so I said I bet Kofi's going to win it and take the US title back to Raw, which he did. So that was fine. That was another good match. The next match was the country whipping match between Jack Swagger, Michael Cole against JR and Jerry Lawler. That match was just boring. I wasn't interested in that match at all. Cole came out like dressed in like bubble wrap so that the whipping wouldn't hurt him, but then Jerry Lawler just punched him in the face and ripped the bubble wrap off. So, and then the match kind of went on for a little while, and Michael Cole got the pin on JR for the win, which was like, oh, if that feud is going on again for another month, I swear I will cry. I was just really hoping that Jack Swagger was going to turn on Michael Cole and that would be the end of the whole storyline, but no, it's going to keep going on, and it's really annoying. The next match was the Falls Count Anywhere match between Cody Rhodes and Rey Mysterio. Now, I'm really annoyed that stroking my arm. But I'm really annoyed because I kind of fell asleep through this match. I like saw bits of it, but not enough that I can really give like a proper like review of it. I know I should have watched it again this morning before I did this video, but I just couldn't be bothered. But from what I can remember and from what Liam said, apparently it was supposed to be quite a good match. All I know is that Rey Mysterio won by using like, he spat like blue mist into like Cody Rhodes' face and then hit the 619 and the splash. So that's kind of reminiscent of what Tajiri used to do, but which is a bit weird. But yeah, so obviously Rey Mysterio won that one. Like I said that he was going to win, so one of my predictions was right. Michelle McCool versus Layla in the Loser Leaves WWE match. I just don't think people were really that interested, you know, in the match or whatever, but you know, it wasn't a bad match for a Michelle McCool match. She wasn't too bad, to be fair. Like towards the end of the match, Michelle McCool does hit the face breaker, I think her move's called, but then she goes for the pin, but Layla reverses the pinfall, so she obviously wins the match. Obviously, which kind of knew was going to happen, because as I found out, you guys told me that Michelle McCool had like injuries and she was planning on leaving. So obviously, yeah, Michelle was leaving WWE. But obviously, then after like Layla left, Michelle was just in the ring, kind of like crying, and Calm, or Awesome Kong, but she's called Kharma now in WWE, debuted. Liam's comment was, "Whoa, Booker T's wife on steroids." When she came out, which I thought was quite amusing, so I had to write that down. So obviously she came out, she is huge. Like I said, I'd never seen her. My dad told me about her because obviously he watched TNA when she was Awesome Kong, but I'd never actually seen her before, so I was like, wow, she's huge. But so obviously she came down to the ring and got in there and then did her finishing move. I don't know what it's called, because obviously they didn't know what it's called either. They just said, wow, nice power move. So she did that, and she's like laughing maniacally after she did it. She was quite scary. No, it was quite nice that they cut back to like the rest of like the Divas or the women's like locker room and actually watching the screen like, oh dear, we're in trouble. So it'll be nice, it'll be interesting to see like what she actually kind of does. My favourite match of the evening was the ladder match between Alberto Del Rio and Christian. And it's actually, you know, obviously because Christian hasn't been in a ladder match for quite a while, and obviously Alberto's only been in one, so I wasn't too sure how well they were going to like kind of work together. But there was quite a lot of nice spots. Christian's standing on like the big ladder, and Alberto's got like the little tiny one which they always bring out, and he's like standing on that one and does like the arm breaker, but obviously because he didn't set it up properly, the ladder kind of slipped. The move still looked alright, but obviously you could tell that he was kind of by his facial expression, he was a bit like whoa, because like the ladder kind of gave out under him. Christian hits a spear on Alberto, which is nice. Oh, there's like a nasty bump where like I think Alberto went for like an elbow drop or something on Christian, but obviously Christian moved out of the way and he just like lands on it. Oh, it just looked really horrible. You know, some moments when you just watch it and you think, oh, they're going to like break an arm or something. It's one of those moments, but you know, it's a nice spot. Just looks a bit nasty. So obviously, after that, obviously Alberto was down, so Christian was climbing the ladder. But Brodus Clay came out and pulled the ladder out from under Christian, so he was kind of hanging off the ladder. And then Christian like pushed Brodus Clay into like the big ladder, which had fallen down in the corner. And then I think I have a feeling he either threw the little ladder at him or hit him with it anyway. Because then like when the camera went back onto Christian, he had like spots of blood on his head, so I thought, oh, he's like cut himself. But then like a few minutes later, like there was nothing on his head, and I was like, he's not bleeding. But then they like did like a shot to like the outside where they saw that Brodus Clay was like lying on the floor. There was like all blood all over the floor, and his head was like completely covered in it. So that looked quite nasty. So that kind of made me cringe. I didn't mind seeing blood, but that was quite a lot of it, and I wasn't expecting that, so hopefully he didn't get like bashed up too bad there, even though he had blood pouring out of his head. So obviously after, like, I can't remember what Alberto did, but then he was climbing up onto the ladder, and Edge came out in like another vehicle and like was beeping the horn, like distracted Alberto, so you know he wasn't paying attention. Then Christian pushed over the ladder that Alberto was on. He landed on the outside on top of Brodus Clay and Ricardo Rodriguez. I need to learn how to say that guy's name properly. It always takes me like ages to actually get it out. So then yeah, so then Christian climbed the ladder and won the World Heavyweight Championship, which I was actually quite surprised about, because I honestly thought Alberto was going to win. But it's nice to see Christian as champion. What? So yeah, stop interrupting my flow when I'm talking. So yeah, so obviously Christian is the World Heavyweight Champion now, so it'd be nice to see what they'll actually do with him. So obviously now that Alberto's gone to Raw, who like Christian will face, because there's not really many top heels. Obviously I know they've got Sheamus now, but hopefully he won't become the champion again. It would be weird to see like Christian feuding with like Randy Orton. So we'll see what happens, but obviously yeah, for now it's nice to see Christian as champion. He does deserve it, because he's obviously been in the company for a long time. He's never really had a proper title shot, apart from obviously ECW title, but that doesn't really count. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. So another match that they kind of threw in without like actually announcing it before the show started was a lumberjack match for the tag team championship between obviously Kane and Big Show. They were against Wade Barrett and Ezekiel Jackson, obviously I guess because Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel have used up all their rematch clauses now. So yeah, lumberjack match. Who were half the people on the outside? Like I don't even know who half of them were. Obviously, you know, they had like that Tyler Rex guy and the Usos or whatever they're called, but apart from that I was like, who are these people? Like half of them I didn't have a clue who they were. I'd never seen them before, so that match wasn't exactly very interesting. Impressive power slam on Big Show by Ezekiel Jackson. He's got some strength. Jackson, oh shut up. So, but then obviously after he did that, Wade Barrett like tagged himself in, which obviously angered Ezekiel Jackson. He tried to go for the I was going to Trouble in Paradise then. He tried to go for the waistland on Big Show, but Big Show countered and did the choke slam for the win. So obviously Core are very much breaking down now, and I think they'll probably be split up within the next couple of months. And then the main event was obviously the steel cage match between John Morrison, John Cena and The Miz. Obviously this match was a bit kind of like hit and miss. It could be good, but it could also have gone the other way and been not that interesting. But I actually really liked it, so I don't know what you guys thought of it, but I thought it was a really good match. Quite early on, Miz hits a skull-crushing finale on Cena, and obviously Morrison tries to escape the cage, but Miz stops him. Obviously Morrison I thought Morrison looked really good in this match, because the last kind of few times that he's been on like events and stuff, he's looked a bit kind of like sloppy, but obviously he looked really good. He looked like he could be a part of like the main event scene on Raw in this match, which is good. there was a really nasty like double suplex off the cage. Cena and Morrison did the double suplex on Miz off the top of the cage, but instead of him landing like on his kind of lower back, he landed on like his like neck and like kind of shoulder area, and it just looked really nasty. So obviously people thought he might have been like concussed again or something, but obviously he was alright, but it just it looked really horrible, especially when they put it back in like slow motion. It was quite nasty. There was a nice, Liam tells me it's called C4, at least that's what he thought it was called, on Cena by John Morrison. That was quite a nice move. John Morrison like was climbing like over the top rope, and then he kind of slipped and like landed like on the kind of cage door groin first. So obviously that must have hurt. And he got back in like the actual ring, and John Cena hit like the monkey flip on Morrison, but instead of like landing, I don't know if he was meant to land on his feet or at least like on his back or something, but he kind of landed like face first, so I don't think that was supposed to happen. But so he does the Starship Pain on top of like off of the top of the cage, which it looked alright. Obviously, you know, I think just seeing like move on the top of the cage is usually quite impressive, even if then when you watch it back later it looks a bit rubbish. Obviously Morrison tries to escape the cage, but R-Truth comes out and interferes, stops him from escaping and attacks him. So obviously, you know, he's like building like their feud. So obviously I think R-Truth is quite good as a heel. I'm liking him. Liam wasn't too impressed with his promo at the start of the show, but I thought that he is definitely getting better, and I think this kind of character suits him a lot better. So then Miz and Cena are fighting on top of or like near the top of the cage, and John Cena hits the Attitude Adjustment off the top on the Miz for the win. So Cena is the new WWE champion, so obviously I kind of foresaw that coming really, because I thought, well, Miz kind of had his run now. At least, like I said to Liam, at least it's been a fairly decent run. I know he's kind of been like more like a cowardly champion, he hasn't really got any clean kind of wins, but at least they didn't do to him like what they did with Swagger. They only let him be like champion for like a month or whatever it was, and you know, made him awful. So at least he's had like, I think it's 6 months he's been a champion for, around about that anyway. So yes, obviously now, because obviously Raw tomorrow is going to be obviously in Miami again, and well, tonight actually, not tomorrow, but for like The Rock's like birthday party. So obviously I'm sure that will add some kind of, I don't know what the word is, some interest now that Cena is champion. Obviously The Rock's going to be there. So yeah, so overall I really liked Extreme Rules. I thought it was good, considering the fact that the build like to the matches beforehand wasn't that impressive. I thought it was a really good show, and I would watch it again. So yeah, so thanks for watching my review. Sorry if I've kind of rambled a bit, but yeah, you don't know, I've been sitting on them for too long. But yeah, no, so thanks for watching this, and I will be back on probably Wednesday for my Raw review. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.